Welcome back to On Chef Gaming.
Yeah, man.
We're about to go see God, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So if you had a giant tower rise out of the sea, would you go inside?
I mean, if I was already on a wild adventure, like, I guess.
That's fair, I suppose. Let's assume you weren't on a wild adventure. You just happened to like, your grandpa had found the 3 pearls, but he didn't know what to do with them, and you found a book that was like, oh, take him to these places. And you're like, oh, okay. You know, get this super cool treasure or whatever. But, like, you're not expecting to have, like, an actual adventure. You just think it's going to be put it in, get treasure.
If I survive the same explosion that he does, yeah, I mean, I might as well in for a penny, in for a pound.
That is totally fair. Oh, God, it's the yellow one. Why aren't you locking onto him?
I was entirely locked on to him.
I don't think you were, bro.
I was.
I think
Oops.
you were not. I think you were just, like, zoomed in.
I was hitting the button.
Well, yeah, but I don't think you were locked on. I think you were just Z-targeting nothing.
I was literally Z-targeting him.
I don't think you were.
You can think that all you want.
I know, and I will, and I do. Run, bro!
Oh,
I was about to say, thank God you had plenty of bombs coming in here, but then I realized you only have, like, a couple bombs.
Yeah. Luckily, since I know the pro strat on how to defeat those choo-choos and not be a dumbass like when I was a kid and just keep swinging at them, it'll be okay.
Yeah.
Oops.
Oops. Is that gonna go fast enough? Hurry, bomb!
Boom.
Hell yeah.
Oops.
That's a bad guy.
Get down here. See?
Yeah, you did lock onto that one. I'm pretty sure you still had the yellow arrow, like you weren't locked onto him before. I don't know, future me, verify and post. Damn, I can't believe that you were right. Or, ha, I knew I was right.
Yeah. I also am surprised at the results, or am not. See, look, I went from 0 bombs to 26.
Wait, did you?
Yes.
I didn't catch that. Da-da-da-da!
A dungeon map. See, look.
Directly on the Wii U gamepad that I can't see. God, you know another thing I love about the Wii U?
What?
How cool it looks.
Yeah.
And another thing I love about the Wii U, you ask?
Yeah.
How practical it is.
Yeah.
Another thing that makes the Wii U great, you say? Well, that would be how many amazing games that there are.
Yeah. Were there?
Yeah. Look at this game.
Well, yeah, but this was just a GameCube game.
The fuck did you say?
This was just a GameCube game.
No, this is Wind Waker HD for the Wii U exclusive.
Yes, but it was originally a GameCube game.
Yeah, but then they took an okay game and they made it better for the Wii U. The better console than every other console. Every game would be better if it were just on the Wii U. Minecraft Wii U, best Minecraft.
I don't think it's...
I assume it exists. I forget.
It does.
Yeah, see? Undeniable.
I mean... I don't think that means it's undeniable.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, totally.
Like, why would anyone ever deny?
Fuck. I was too slow. Sonic is laughing at me.
Damn, bro. Something about that laugh makes me really uncomfortable.
Hello, little guy. Do.
God, I saw a video.
Yeah?
And I can't remember if I sent it to you or if I sent it to somebody else. But, it was Yugi finds out about the Duel Academy.
Oh, you did send that to me.
Hell yeah. And it's Little Kribo doing the voices for Yugi and Kaiba. And Yugi's like, so I guess Slifer is the best one, right? And he's like, no, Slifer is stupid and dumb and all the losers go there. And he's like, but Slifer's the dragon. The only dragon, so that kind of means you're making fun of dragons, right?
No. Why would I make fun of dragons, Yugi?
That bastard!
Hey, Yug, that bastard Seto Kaiba's making fools of us.
Come on, go back down, water.
Yeah, water.
Thank you.
Dare I try and run across?
I probably wouldn't.
Yeah, me either.
Damn it, we definitely would have made it.
We sure would have.
Well, you know, we tried really hard.
We sure did.
Man, you know what we need to talk about, bro?
What?
Unless you haven't watched and or read any of it, in which case we probably shouldn't talk about it.
What?
Bleach.
I have not.
Damn you.
I mean, everything that I've ever heard about it, like post us being in middle school, is how bad it is.
Well, those people are wrong. Bleach is very good. In some ways.
Yeah, in some ways. Aside from all of the... No!
Oh, thank Christ.
Aside from all of the filler arcs and all of the weird decisions and the fact that Ichigo is the magical MacGuffin that never has to, like, not get a power-up. Worse than Goku.
I mean, yeah. Kind of.
They literally reveal at the end of the stories, spoiler for Bleach, that he's a fucking Quincy on top of all the other shit.
Yeah, he's a Quincy and a Hollow and a Soul Reaper and a human naturally.
Yes.
Which makes him basically just like the strongest possible being.
And yet Aizen's like, I controlled everything that happened in your life.
Yes.
So that I could have the best fight of my life.
Yes. Well, and Aizen sort of is kind of completely responsible. Bunch of spoilers for Bleach, apparently.
Yeah.
Since we are going to talk about it, even though Crandon hasn't seen or read it. The long story short is really the only major issue I have with Bleach is that they escalate way too much, way too fast.
Yeah.
Because, like, literally one of the very first things that happens, and, like, the first episode, I'm pretty sure, is Ichigo gets his Soul Reaper powers activated.
Right.
And not actually his. They're actually Rukia's powers that she gives to him.
Right.
But she only means to give him some power, and instead he takes the whole thing. Because he's, like, so spiritually whatever. But they... one of the things about it is... Because, like, his sword is super huge, right?
Right.
Well, the size of your sword, like, directly correlates to how strong you are, like, spiritual power-wise. So when she sees his huge fucking sword, she's like, oh, he's the strongest person ever. And they sort of retcon that shortly thereafter.
Mm-hmm.
Because people who are way stronger than Ichigo don't have ungodly huge swords. And then they sort of re-retcon it again.
Fuck.
By, because later on, when you find out that, Ichigo's dad is a Soul Reaper, he's like, oh yeah, because the bad guy is like, I have a way bigger sword than you, that means I'm stronger. And Ichigo's dad is like, Captain level Soul Reapers know how to control the size of their sword, otherwise we'd be swinging skyscrapers. So they make it, and then they kind of pretend like it's not a thing, but then they, like, put it back in, but say, oh, but, like, it's not, like, nobody really carries a comically large sword.
Right.
Like, we could, but we know that we shouldn't, because it's not practical.
Right.
And it's like, okay, well, that seems a little silly, but whatever. But, like, so he starts out, and he's already like, oh, he's the guy, he's the boy with the golden butthole that you always talk about. Like,
yeah,
he's the man. No one could even think about being stronger than Ichigo, except for all the people who are.
Right.
But, like, he enters the Soul Society. And the strongest people in existence, basically, are the captains of the Soul Society.
Right.
Now, obviously, they're not all the same strength. The head captain, he's way stronger than, like, everybody else.
Right.
By a pretty considerable degree. And some of the captains are way weaker than other captains. But overall, if you're a captain, that means you're hot fucking shit. And Ichigo goes from beating a third seat, who is actually strong enough to be a lieutenant, who is actually strong enough to be a captain, but like one of the weakest captains. He beats that guy, followed up by beating a guy who is a lieutenant, who's actually strong enough to be a captain, but like probably the weakest captain, to beating a guy who is a captain, but is like called the strongest captain, but might debatably be the weakest captain at the time, but later becomes probably the strongest captain, to beating one of the guys who's like objectively one of the strongest captains is his final boss fight for that like arc.
Right.
So it's like, okay, you go from beating a guy... Oh, and also before he even gets into the place where the Soul Reapers live, he also defeats a giant. But he doesn't even have to try. He just blocks everything and then shatters the guy's weapon in a single swing. So, like, he fights a giant guy who everyone else is like, we might need to team up on this guy to have a chance. And he's like, nah, I can handle him. And then he just, like, no-diffs him. And then he fights this third seat guy who he doesn't no-diff, but he beats handily without too much of a sweat. And then he beats this lieutenant who's sort of... He's probably the strongest lieutenant, but would be like the weakest captain. Then he beats a captain who's like called the strongest captain, but possibly the weakest captain, but also does things that suggest he may be like a really strong captain. Really what it amounts to is the guy is fucking around a lot, which is part of the reason why Ichigo sort of, kind of, but not exactly wins. But like then when he beats Byakuya at the end of the arc, like that's just a straight up win. And so it's like, okay, we're at the end of the second arc. The first, like, major arc. And he's almost the strongest guy in the Soul Society.
Right.
And, like, yeah, they introduced more people. Because, like, in the Uranka arc, they introduced all the Uranka, and they're all stronger than him. It's like, okay, so they're all stronger than basically all the captains. Well, sort of, but not really. And, like, Aizen, he's way stronger than anybody. But then he gets a super power up, and he beats him.
Right.
And then he loses his powers because of his super power up. And so that arc where he doesn't have his powers, that's kind of cool in a way. But in some ways, it's also like the worst arc of the canon show. But then we have the 1,000-Year Blood War arc, which is fucking cool. But also he gets another super-de-duper power up. And also, the main villain has like such a broken power. Because like, Aizen already has such a broken power, it's not even funny. He's got perfect hypnosis. And it works on everybody.
Right.
There's literally no one in the show. He uses it on the villain of the 1,000-Year Blood War arc, and it works on that guy. Who has, like, the power where he can see all possible futures and pick which one he wants to be reality.
Right.
And perfect hypnosis still works on him. And that's only his Shikai. That's not even his Bankai, which should be his strongest power. But anyway... So he kills that guy. It's like, okay, so like he can kill literally anybody. He is just like, when people talk about Naruto and how like, oh, well, like, yeah, he seemed like a loser, but actually he has the nine-tailed fox, and he's the son of Minato, and he's an Uzumaki who have ungodly chakra levels. Like, Naruto is overpowered, but Ichigo is that, like, so far beyond... And I mean, I still love Bleach, don't get me wrong. It's a great fucking manga. And an alright anime if you skip the bad parts. Actually, it's a good anime if you skip the bad parts. It's an okay at best anime if you don't skip all the bad parts.
Okay.
But it's like, they escalate it so far, so fast, that it's like, okay, into the first major arc. You know, the captains of the Soul Society, some of the strongest beings in existence, they're the enemies. It's like, okay, well, that seems like they should be like in-game level enemies, but whatever. Next arc, Aizen, he's like strong enough he could become god of a new world. It's like, okay, so how do you have a whole nother like major arc after that? literally the son of God, who has the power to see the future and control it.
Yeah.
And then he wins in the end anyway.
Hell yeah. So what you're saying is Ichigo could beat Goku.
I don't know about that. I am not. Sacred and I have talked about this a lot lately because he keeps forcing me to watch death battles for some reason.
Uh-huh.
I hate Death Battle, by the way. I don't have anything against the people who make Death Battle, don't get me wrong. But, like, the show itself, like, if you make inter-universe battles, they're pretty much just always going to suck.
Right.
And Death Battle does a pretty good job of at least trying to make them entertaining.
Yes.
But, like, as far as the actual power scaling goes, there's so many things that you cannot truly account for.
Right.
That, and there's so much, because, like, and I watch quite a few people who do power scaling type stuff, and I don't usually watch them for their power scaling stuff. It's usually for the other stuff that they do, and they just also do power scaling. But, because the thing about power scaling is it always gets into, like, math. And as soon as you start trying to add math to your fictional character battles, I get why you do it, because it's, like, the only objective way you can possibly try and do it. But also, it's fucking lame and boring, and I don't want to watch that.
I feel you. It's part of why I like One Piece, because, like, sure, people try and power scale all those characters, but, like, at the end of the day, Oda's never been like, Luffy's power level is 450 quadruple nups.
Right.
Like, he's just like, he just punches people.
Right. Well, it's like, because with Bleach, Ichigo has a feat towards the end of the series, I think, where he goes from the Soul Palace down to the Soul Society in X amount of time.
Uh-huh.
And we know that it's X distance away from each other. So we know he must have been traveling at Z velocity.
Right.
Which means that he's that fast.
Right.
And it's like, okay, I mean, yeah, I guess literally, because you mathed it out, that has to be accurate.
Right.
But that doesn't make it enjoyable to watch. Like, I don't know. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that if you enjoy power scaling that you're wrong. Like, that's totally okay. If you enjoy watching it and you think it's super fucking cool, that's totally cool with me. If you make it and you're like, oh, like, these objective measures, they're the only way to do it. Like, just talking about, like, if their powers, you know, whose power is better. No, you need to be able to objectively defend your opinion on why that power is stronger than that power. Like, that's fine. I don't care if that's how you roll. It's totally okay. But also, don't send it to me and want me to watch it. Because I'm not going to want to.
Yeah, I feel that.
Though, admittedly, we watched a death battle the other day. I guess it's a really new one, but I don't know exactly how new. It was Scooby-Doo versus Courage.
Oh.
And that one, I mean, there's a lot of dumb stuff in it, too. But, like, it's inherently dumb. It's Scooby-Doo versus Courage the Cowardly Dog. No one is looking at me like, oh, man, can't wait to get this super cool objective, like, thing. Like, they took everything they could possibly find and threw them against each other. And it's like, okay, it's like this not painfully serious one that I'm into. Kind of, sort of. Oops.
I keep doing that. But it's okay. We still have 23 bombs.
Hell yeah. There we go. I was going to say, do we not have to carry him? What? I don't... Oh, okay, he's going to follow us.
Yeah. Dum, 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 dum.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. It's like a metronome.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I like a good death battle every once in a while, but also, they're getting ready to do Goku versus Superman 3.
Yeah.
Oops.
Well, and I don't blame him for doing that, because, like, Goku vs. Superman 1 and 2 are both, like, I think one is their most popular video, and one is almost...
Yeah,
the second one, I think, is, like, close. So I don't blame him on that end for doing it. And, like, people are still like, no, but what about XYZ?
Yeah.
And it's like, that's fine. I get that. You know, as a company, they kind of got to do what the people want to see.
Yeah.
But...
And, like, I get it. When new information comes out, they have to re-examine everything. But they also do things like, could Megatron beat Frieza?
Probably not.
No.
I don't know that much about Megatron, but...
The answer was no. Frieza won. But not without taking the same blows that he was dealt on Namek.
I mean, that's fair, I guess, maybe. I don't know. I don't know enough about Megatron to even, like, hazard a guess. But I tell you, not to just complain about, like, Death Battle and power scaling and all that stuff, even more than I already have, which is probably too much. But one of the ones that he made me watch was Aizen versus Madara.
Oh,
which I guess is one of the most contentious ones. And I understand why. Because, man, they were wrong as fuck on that.
Yeah? What, did Madara win?
Madara did win.
Yeah, like, Madara's overpowered, but he's not...
He's not Bleach overpowered, is the problem. Like, he is super overpowered, but he's still Naruto overpowered. Did it not work?
Oh. Did I... Yeah. Oh, okay. I wasn't standing the right distance away.
Of course.
Sorry.
My mistake.
Sorry, Wind Waker.
Hell yeah.
There we go.
But, yeah, no. Well, it's one of those things, because, like, people want their favorite anime character to be able to beat other anime characters.
Yeah, but...
And it's like, but why does it matter? Like, if Luffy can't beat Goku, that's okay.
Yeah.
If Naruto can't beat Goku, that's okay. If Ichigo can't beat Goku, that's okay. Goku is really, really overpowered.
He is. Like,
I've
had a big shift in... Because I used to be Dragon Ball all the way, Goku, no diffs, literally everyone in existence for all time ever. And I've kind of had a shift where it's like, man, I really like One Piece. I think it's really well written. I like the characters a lot more than I like a lot of the Dragon Ball characters. God damn it, I thought I just...
Throw it!
There.
No, I see. That's the thing, right? Like, if your character can win a fight, that doesn't make them the better character.
Yeah.
It just means that they're stronger. You can make them strong. You can just say, Luffy is immortal.
Yeah.
And cannot be injured. Okay, he's now stronger than Goku.
Exactly.
That doesn't make him a better character. In fact, it probably makes him a way worse character.
Exactly. Like, I mostly just get tired of I don't know, just the end fighting and stuff. Like, I don't care if Luffy can beat Goku. I don't care if Goku can beat Luffy. I don't care.
They're never gonna fight.
Yeah.
They're not in the same show. And see, I do watch, because, like, I watch some power scalers, and of course they still do all the math and all that stuff. Not all of them, but a lot of them. And I don't necessarily think that it's entirely necessary. Mm-hmm. But, like, I watch a lot of intra-universe versus battle type stuff.
Uh-huh.
And to me, that's way more interesting. Like, Itachi versus Nagato from Naruto.
Right.
It's like, that's way more interesting than, could Itachi defeat Krillin? It's like, who fucking cares if he could defeat Krillin?
Yeah. Like, give me fights
like, what does that matter?
Give me fights from the universe that we didn't get to see.
Right. And again, I'm not saying if you prefer, if you prefer fights that are outside of their own universes. Like, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that. Just that I'm not interested in that to any significant degree.
Thank you, King. Yeah,
You're welcome.
I feel you. A motorcycle.
Hooray!
Yeah.
Man, it's 5 p.m., which means it's almost time for bed. Because it's dark outside almost.
5 p.m., which means it's almost time to play Mario RPG for a couple of hours.
That too. It's also probably almost time for next time on Chef Gaming Time?
Yeah.
Or we're going to fight this big guy?
Yeah, I think maybe this should be the last episode of today's recording, and we'll just make it a little bit longer.
Oh. So no next time on Chef Gaming Time?
I don't know, man. You decide. If you want to do one more episode, then
Yeah,
sure.
next time on Chef Gaming Time.
All right.